Hey, welcome. Let me ask you something. What if building wealth has way less to do with what you know and everything to do with how you act? That's the big idea we're diving into today as we unpack the key insights from Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money.
So let's just jump right in with the central question of the book. We're always taught that finance is this hard science, right? All about spreadsheets and complicated formulas. But what if that's not really the whole story? What if the real secret to financial success isn't about being the smartest person in the room, but about how you behave?
And there it is. This is the core thesis. And honestly, it changes everything. It means that someone with just average financial knowledge, but who has incredible emotional control, can actually do better than a Wall Street genius who can't get a handle on their own biases. It's kind of a radical idea, and it puts all the power right back in your hands. Which leads us right into our first section, the money paradox. I mean, we've all seen this, right? Brilliant doctors or lawyers or engineers who are somehow just awful with money. So why is that? Well, it's because managing money isn't really about math. It's about psychology. This brings us to a whole field called behavioral finance. And it's not focused on spreadsheets at all. Nope. It's all about our messy, emotional, and, let's be honest, often irrational human brains. It looks at how our impulses, like that gut-wrenching fear during a market crash or that feeling of greed when things are booming, can completely wreck even the most perfect financial plan. So, what this all boils down to is this: your ability to just stay calm when everyone else is freaking out, or to be patient when everyone else wants results right now, that is a way more valuable skill than knowing how to build some complex financial model. It's all about mastering yourself, not mastering the market. And this idea of mastering our own behavior, it leads us straight to our next big point: redefining what wealth even is. This is a huge mindset shift because our culture is constantly mixing up looking wealthy with actually being wealthy. Just think about it for a second. On one side, you've got all the visible stuff: the flashy car, the giant house, the designer clothes. That's just money that's been spent. It's gone. But on the other side, you have real wealth: the savings, the investments, all the stuff you don't see. That's the money that is still out there, working for you, buying you freedom and options. Seriously, a fancy car doesn't show you someone is rich. It just shows you that they spent, say, $100,000. The real wealth is the $100,000 they didn't spend, the money that's just sitting in an investment account, quietly working for them, buying their independence one day at a time. Okay, so behavior is everything, and real wealth is the stuff nobody sees. Cool. But how do you actually, build it? Let's get into what the book calls the unbeatable strategy. And you might be surprised by how simple, almost boring, these habits really are. Yeah, it really is this straightforward. First, you've got to create a gap between what you earn and what you spend. That's it. Second, you take that gap and you put it to work consistently. We're talking month after month, year after year. And third, and this is the hard part, you just have the patience to let the single most powerful force in finance do its thing. And that magical force? It's compounding. The best way to think about it is like a snowball rolling down a huge hill. It starts off small, right? But as it keeps rolling, it picks up more and more snow, getting bigger and faster and bigger. Your money works the exact same way. The returns it earns start earning their own returns, and pretty soon you've got this explosive exponential growth. It's amazing. Just take a look at this chart. A steady investment, well, it might not look like much after 10 years, but look at that massive jump between year 20 and year 30. That's not just your money working anymore, that's the earnings on your earnings kicking into high gear. In fact, that last decade can generate more wealth than the first two combined. That's the incredible power of time. But, and this is a big but, that chart only works if you stick with the plan. Which brings us to our next section, playing the long game. Because the strategy itself is simple, but the psychological endurance you need to actually pull it off, man, that is incredibly difficult. This is the battle that's constantly happening inside your own head. Your emotions, that pit in your stomach when the market drops, or that FOMO when it's soaring, they will be screaming at you to abandon your plan. Real success comes from overriding those impulses with a logical system that's built on patience and discipline. Like, say, automating your investments so you literally don't have to think about it. So, how do you win this psychological battle? Well, you have to internalize these key ideas. First, You gotta understand that patience is your superpower in a world that is obsessed with speed. Next, you have to accept that risk and uncertainty are just part of the game. They're normal. Acknowledge that luck plays a role. That'll keep you humble. Don't get overconfident when you're winning. And finally, be flexible enough to adapt without breaking your core principles. All right, we've talked mindset, we've talked strategy, we've talked psychology, but let's wrap this up with this single most important piece of this entire puzzle, your most valuable asset. This is your true financial superpower. So let me ask you directly, what do you think it is? Is it your house, your retirement account? Maybe that one stock you picked that went to the moon? The real answer is actually a lot closer to home. That's right, it's you. The biggest and best asset you will ever have is your own brain and your ability to earn an income. Seriously, investing in your skills, your education, your career, that will give you a higher return over your lifetime than any stock or bond ever could. Your earning power is the engine that drives your entire wealth-building machine. So let's just bring this all home. The path to real financial success isn't some complicated secret formula. It's about understanding your own emotional triggers. It's about focusing on long-term stability instead of short-term thrills. It's the simple, boring habit of spending less than you make. And most importantly, it's about continuously investing in yourself. What this all shows us is that your financial life isn't something that just happens to you. It's a story. And it's a story you are writing for yourself, one decision at a time. You are the author. So the only question left is, who's holding the pen? Thanks for joining me.